Oh yeah, we're playing Vampire the Masquerade, Camarillo's in New York. I'm with the rookie, and hi, and we're talking. Another actor going off script at the very end, eh? No matter, let him bring us some amusement now that the production is almost wrapping up. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Hello, if we're fuck you, dialogue box. I'm in the middle of my villainous monologue. Helena, even if we naively assume his nights aren't numbered now that he's in the SI's sights, this show must go on one way or another. Won't hurt to encourage leaks and speculation. Sophie looks at you.
How could you, Jack Death? I saved you.
Arturo suddenly appears next to her and slaps her in the face.
Ow.
Langley, Langley, Langley. What happens to your self-esteem? You can't really think a simple neonate like has outplayed you? Or maybe this obvious act of your way of groveling for mercy?
Thomas, what?
I barely know what I said, honestly. You thought that being an expert chess player would always be enough? You never realize the people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face when they don't like how the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred. But the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game you knew, Jack Death. Just another pawn placed on the board by my associates. I knew there's more to that. Like, I wanted to hope there wasn't, because that's how reality works most of the time, but I really didn't. Whatever.
That's how stories work.
Yeah. You thought they were your piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? You returned to the night where you were judged by Prince Penhard, the woman in red, Sophie. Somebody speaking to her, a man in glasses, the man standing before you now. This is cruel. We know what's going to happen. If only somebody would speak up for the poor child. They could be a useful tool for the Camarillo. Terror creeps into Sophie's face. Of course those are not the words you heard, were they? No, you were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. But I put the bait out. You took it hook, line, and sinker. After that, it was only a matter of time before you started using Jack Death as your errand boy. No one is quite as easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who's just learning the ropes.
What is it you want, Thomas?
What do I want? Oh, boy. The answer is so simple but so hard to put into words. Unstable stability, cutting-edge tales of thrill and intrigue that push it to the limit, and then return you to the tired, tested status quo. Gently, infallibility. A system full of distractingly moving parts to simulate conflicts so convincingly that its users never feel a need to direct their energy toward upsetting the system. I will say this is the best looking vampire I've met so far. Achieving the eternal through the disposable. Building a city that's like a ship of Theseus, constantly changing its parts yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. I wouldn't know about the ship of Theseus if Markiplier didn't bring it up every other video I see him in. A large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating it in a single place.
None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense.
Arturo momentarily stops in his tracks. He stares into the sky for a few seconds before a sad grin appears on his face. Spoken like someone who's never really had what it takes to make it in the big leagues. With a theatrical snap of fingers, he gives his last sentence and sense of finality. Something's changed in the air. You could swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. Person appears behind Sophie. You can't believe your eyes. It's Adelaide Davis holding garden shears in her hands.
I don't know who she is.
Adelaide Davis. That's somebody in Angela's story, I think. Either the assassin or the girl we were trying to save or whatever. Fuck it, I want to be a hero one of these days. You take off and rush towards Sophie. You only take a few steps before a figure blinks right next to you and pushes you away. Arturo.
Bastards!
You hear the shears snip. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls, separated from her shoulders. Silence. Arturo's unpleasant laughter erupts right next to you. Oh, Jack Death, your career is moving at a breakneck pace. Moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. What do you want from me? What a rush! I was about to get to that. Helena, feel free to leave us and take the baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush. You're just being jealous, Adeline. Escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please.
That person. That makes
It was the assassin.
Yep.
Or, no, the girl that we were trying to save.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. That really sucks. We've been screwed by everybody in this game.
Not Sophie.
Sure thing, darling. You're left alone next to Sophie's body. Try not to look, but it's hard to ignore the lithe frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Congratulations, you've won this little game! You set out on a suicide mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry wannabe tyrant. Even if it probably wasn't the way you imagined it. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again. Life after death, immortality, eternal youth, all that. What they don't tell you is, of course, living in paradise is inherently sinful when not everyone can partake. But you have time to learn now, to live with sin, don't you? He takes a melancholic look at the city skyline surrounding him, the Statue of Liberty, and the lights of Manhattan shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here. And it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me the piece of wisdom I needed to go on.
Let me share my backstory with you now.
I know you're at your emotional wit's end, but let me go on and on again about how I'm so awesome and you're a little shit. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. Knowledge is bullshit. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I'd read could finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated, righteous, intellectual suffering. His eyes, I finally noticed his eyes are freaky. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to a power relationship. The characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. Shit, he read me like a book. The strings everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate. And once I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive.
So in other words, he believes in fate, but he's above it. Check.
God damn it.
I'm not wrong, am I?
Half of this is gibberish, you know, right? At least half of this is just, I'm on my spiel, I'm just throwing any fancy word. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the things I like about One Punch Man. Somebody will go on and I was just like, okay.
Can I punch you now?
Can we fight now?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine. Give it my input whenever needed, until it trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left of Sophie, wiping his glances with an elegant cloth from his pocket. What a dick. And it did. Fate let me look after this city with my anarchist tools. Architects tools. Fuck you! I'm Ted Mosby! The two statements are unrelated. I'm laughing at the fact that you're like, no, I'm trying to help. Fuck you!
I mean, this almost reminds me of Morpheus's little, like, hour in the middle of Matrix where he just fucking talks. He's like,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Let's go see the cool kung fu shit.
I didn't, yeah. I have issues with Matrix.
Fair enough.
And it did. Fate let... I'm going to have to cut half of that because I forgot what we were talking about.
Okay.
And it did. Fate let me look after the city with my architect tools. I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The method I used were crude at times, but the route was there. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebook passages, the others plan city at arteries. In the end, the effort is the same. Someone always follows. He puts on the glasses and gives you a long, hard look. You know, I've grown fond of you. You did so well even when that idiot Callahan tipped the Inquisition off. Callahan did that, huh? You still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. So take my blood. Just enough so we can start off on the right foot. As a sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to play with the big leagues. Ready to behold the sights I've prepared for you.
So it might have been in there somewhere or something, but I don't think that you read it. But there's a thing called the blood bond. I'm just letting you know, if you drink his blood, it'll be harder for you to not follow what he tells you to do.
Blood bond. Why is this not alphabetical?
Because it aids you. It's probably time related. Like I said, I don't know if it's in
there. It
or
is.
not.
A mystically enforced relationship between vampire and another mortal or kindred. Drinking the blood of a vampire directly from the veins 3 times creates an intense loyalty in the drinker, resembling infatuation or obsession. The bond loses its grip with time, but is reinforced by repeated drinks from the donor vampire. So 1 drink might not mess me up too much.
It might not, but by the time you get to 3, you'll be...
Oh, really?
Oh, that was just the end.
I guess you gotta do something different to get to the final ending.
I thought you were gonna have a choice there.
Yeah, so did I.
Well, that sucks.
No, you gotta play everything to get there, I guess.
I was really, really hoping that you'd at least be able to say no and then get killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, honestly, that's where I was drifting. But, like, after reading the Blood Bond, I might have kept going with intent to fuck him over. This was rough. That was a shit ending. I'm sorry. I just... expecting...
That was a really just sudden ending.
Yeah, I knew something bad was going to happen with Sophie. I expected her to, like, just betray you or something. I didn't expect her to get fucked over.
Yeah.
That was...
I don't know if it has multiple endings or not.
It's got to. There's no way that's the final ending. There's no way in hell.
I suppose I could do an internet search at some point and figure this out.
Yeah, I might do that too, but the thing is...
Then we'd have to, like, redo this again just to get the back.
Yeah, no, and we're not doing that right away.
No.
We are done for now.
But there are credits
Yeah,
to my awesome friend Cassie for giving me her insight about vampires.
My first vampire RPG roleplay. You know what? That gives me a lot more love for this game. That somebody involved was like, fucking thank all these awesome people in my life. Let me tell you a little about them.
Yeah. They helped teach me the game.
That gives this game a huge plus for me. It feels very dog.
to my partner and dog for their unending support or something like that was one of them.
Made in Unity. One of these days we'll get a game made. One of these days I'll finally finish that Captain N game. But Jesus Christ. Did I even get to save that? Wow, the file's gone!
It deleted your file when you got to the end.
That's some bullshit!
That is interesting. That is an interesting choice on their part.
That's enraging. Any love for this game just went right out the window.
Well, it was saving as we went anyway, so...
Yeah, but should at least have had the last save file or something. That's the point of a save file is.
But it's been auto-saving, so it would have saved it, like, right after you had... Like, maybe you're giving you the choice of how to save Sophie. Like, it wouldn't have been relevant.
Oh, I suppose... Well, like... Also, maybe, like, it's still saved, just not accessible.
Maybe, who knows?
But yeah, I am interested in going into this again, but not anytime soon.
Fair enough.
That was a little rough. I'm still on the fence on how I feel about that. This wasn't even a full episode.
I mean, it makes me kind of feel bad about my game, because if that's time related for when that happens, like, or even if it isn't, like, I'm not going to get all 4 people. I'm probably going to get 2.
Well, you know what? I think everything spiraled when we got tricked into that meeting with Callahan.
That could be.
Because he set off the SI, and that triggered a whole jump of the meeting and all that. So
that could
if we see that coming and can avoid it with the second playthrough, maybe that's it. I don't even know if I want to research this online and be surprised whether that works or not. But for the purposes of wasting time filming and shit, I'm not doing that without researching first.
Right.
But
I agree.
Well, that was Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries in New York, and that was painful.
It does have a sequel. I don't know if you're interested in
I know of it. If I do any more of this, I want the physical copies, I think.
Okay.
Like, we'll keep playing this game on this, because the save file's here. But
it's not anymore.
I honestly think it's still embedded in the game, and we just can't access it.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm holding on to that opinion. But, I like how the cloud has, like, an eye in the sky. You see that? But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll catch you with the next game, which I think might be KOTOR with the Turd Buddy Travis.
Okay.
If he ever shows up to film anymore.
We'll see.
He decided he's busy. He lowered the filming schedule on me, so like his fucking family's getting in the way again.
They always get in the way.
They do! Oh, don't get me started. Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.